Hello, everyone. Welcome to Celsius 233, your go-to place for fiction book summaries. Today, we will get lost in the pages of A Room with a View by E.M. Forster. A Room with a View is a 1908 novel by E.M. Forster, a classic of English literature. It is a love story that explores themes of social conventions, personal growth, and the contrast between the repressive Edwardian society and the liberating power of travel and experience. The story primarily follows Lucy Honeychurch, a young English woman, during her travels to Italy and later in England, where she encounters love, freedom, and self-discovery. Forster skillfully critiques societal norms while championing individuality and emotional honesty. Plot summary: Lucy Honeychurch, a young woman from Surrey, England, arrives in Florence with her older cousin Charlotte Bartlett, her chaperone. They stay at the Pension Bertolini, a modest establishment filled with British tourists. Upon their arrival, the cousins are disappointed to find their rooms lack the promised views of the River Arno. In a bold and unexpected offer, Mr. Emerson, a kind but unconventional man, suggests that Lucy and Charlotte take his and his son George's rooms, which do have views. Charlotte, scandalized by the Emersons' forwardness, initially refuses, but Lucy, intrigued by the father and son's directness, wishes to accept. Eventually, after much protest from Charlotte, they swap rooms, setting the stage for a series of life-altering encounters. The next day, Lucy begins to explore Florence, eager to experience its art and culture. During an outing to the Church of Santa Croce, she runs into Mr. Emerson and George. Mr. Emerson speaks freely, his frankness surprising Lucy. He talks about life and love in ways that challenge her sheltered upbringing, and Lucy finds herself both disturbed and fascinated by his ideas. George, on the other hand, is quiet and brooding, watching Lucy with an intensity that unnerves her. As Lucy continues to explore Florence, she is accompanied by Miss Lavish, a free-spirited woman who prides herself on seeing the real Italy. However, it is a more private moment that transforms Lucy's journey. During a day trip to the countryside, Lucy witnesses a violent altercation between two men. Overcome by the sight of blood, she faints and is caught in George Emerson's arms. This moment of intimacy, so sudden and raw, deeply affects both Lucy and George. Later that day, in a field of violets, George kisses Lucy impulsively. She is startled and confused by her own emotions, and Charlotte, upon discovering the incident, insists that they leave Florence at once. Back in England, Lucy returns to her familiar world at Windy Corner, her family's home. She tries to bury the memory of Florence, convincing herself that her emotions were nothing more than fleeting impulses. Her family, unaware of what transpired in Italy, is eager for her to settle down. Soon after, Lucy becomes engaged to Cecil Vyse, a man who epitomizes everything proper and refined in Edwardian society. Cecil is intellectual, aloof, and more interested in possessing Lucy as an idealized figure than truly understanding her. Though Lucy tries to convince herself that she loves Cecil, she feels increasingly stifled by his condescending attitude and the rigid expectations of their society. The arrival of the Emersons in Lucy's village further complicates her life. They move into a nearby cottage, having been recommended it by none other than Cecil, who finds the Emersons amusingly bohemian. Lucy, however, is horrified by their proximity and the emotions they stir within her. George's presence forces Lucy to confront the truth she has been avoiding, that her engagement to Cecil is a mistake, and that her feelings for George are deeper than she has allowed herself to acknowledge. During a tennis party at Windy Corner, George kisses Lucy again, this time more passionately and deliberately. The kiss breaks the emotional dam Lucy had been holding in place, and she is left in turmoil. Charlotte, who has been staying with the Honeychurches, tries to manage the situation, but her interference only adds to Lucy's confusion. George confronts Lucy about her engagement to Cecil, urging her to be true to herself and not settle for a life of repression. Despite his words resonating with her, Lucy denies her feelings and continues with her engagement. However, Cecil's actions soon reveal the incompatibility between them. His arrogance and disdain for the simple pleasures of life, as well as his dismissive attitude toward Lucy's family and friends, become unbearable. In a final act of frustration, Lucy breaks off the engagement, but she still refuses to admit her love for George. She tells herself that she will go to Greece with the Miss Allens, two elderly women friends, to escape the emotional entanglements of home. Before she can leave, Mr. Emerson confronts Lucy once more. In a deeply emotional conversation, he urges her to embrace her feelings and live authentically, rather than hiding behind societal expectations. He speaks of love and passion in a way that breaks through Lucy's final defenses. At last, Lucy admits to herself that she loves George and that running away from her emotions is not the answer. Lucy cancels her trip to Greece and, without telling anyone, marries George. In the final scene, the two are back in Florence, staying in the same rooms with a view that sparked the beginning of their story. They are free from the constraints of the society that once bound them, content to live in the moment and embrace their love without fear or hesitation. Their union is not just a personal victory, but a triumph over the oppressive forces of convention and propriety that had once threatened to shape Lucy's life. Together, Lucy and George symbolize a new way of living, one driven by authenticity, passion, and the courage to defy societal norms. They have chosen each other not because it was expected, but because it was right. That's it for now. If you enjoyed this, check out other books by E.M. Forster. You'll find them in the description or just search for them on Celsius 233. Remember, while our summaries capture the essence, they can never replace the full experience of reading the book. If this summary intrigued you, consider diving into the complete story, buy the book, and immerse yourself in E.M. Forster's original work. Bye-bye, take care, have fun.